Welcome to the program. This is the Limelight. My name is Prince Apollo. Now, this week, the country witnessed a wave of protests across the city, with youth protesting the rampant corruption in the country. And in the wake of these protests, concerns have emerged around the human rights aspect of these protests, and that's when we bring in the Human Rights Commission and we audit its role in this issue of human rights according to their mandate. That is why I want to bring in Dr. Livingstone Sewanyana, the founder and executive director for the Foundation for Human Rights Initiative, a lawyer and an advocate of the High Court, well-trained, and he has, of course, also won awards at international level in this field of human rights. Dr. Sewanyana, let's go straight to this issue, and we interrogate the role of the Human Rights Commission, a constitutional body that is mandated to promote and protect the rights of the vulnerable citizens. Talk about it, and looking at its performance. In your opinion, Dr. Sewanyana, how can you rate the performance of the Uganda Human Rights Commission? If it is at the scale of 1 to 10, what could you give the Uganda Human Rights Commission?
Good evening, Apollo, and good evening, viewers of Salt TV. The Constitution of the Republic of Uganda lays out clearly what the roles of the Uganda Human Rights Commission are under Article 51 and its powers under Article 53 of the Constitution. As a body mandated to ensure respect for human rights in this country, it has powers to investigate abuses, it has powers to summon those who may be alleged to have violated human rights, and it can even exercise powers such as releasing a person who has been detained or confined, and even awarding compensation to victims of human rights abuse. So as a body, it is established as an independent organ without any direction from any authority, and it establishes its own rules of procedure on how to carry out this function. Of course, much as it has wide powers, it has to exercise them within its discretion, but also sparingly in order to avoid embarrassing government. For example, when violations of human rights occur, infringements are seen, increasingly people become conscious and suspicious that the Commission should have taken a position or should have exercised these powers, for example, to release those who have been subject to imprisonment. But also, under the same powers that the Commission has been given, it cannot investigate any matters that are before a tribunal or a court of law, and as such, it has some limitations therein. Now, in terms of its performance, it has, of course, over the years, spoken out against abuses of human rights, has investigated, and through its tribunals, it has received complaints and addressed them. It has a challenge that at some point it was not duly constituted, and it has also had a problem of limited resources, to the extent that sometimes these complaints are not heard in record time. Increasingly, of course, it has come under a lot of suspicion that it is not delivering to its mandate, and there, of course, we often are at odds to establish whether it has actually delivered or not. Now, in terms of its performance, one would argue that it is within the range of 5 to 6. if given a rating of 1 to 10, because as much as it investigates, as much as it has been able to author reports to Parliament, it has rarely exercised these powers to release people who have been detained. And in most cases, the abuses have been in the area of arbitrary arrests and denial of freedoms such as the freedom to demonstrate peacefully and to associate. So in that area, it still has a lot to do in order to live up to the mandate it has been given.
Okay, Doctor. The main accusation that has been always and over time raised against the Uganda Human Rights Commission pertains to its independence and impartiality in investigating and protecting the victims, especially when the culprits are state agents. What do you think, or where do you think this problem emanates from? Is it from its structure? Is it a structural problem? Does the Constitution give the Commission full authority to exercise its mandate, independently? Where is the problem?
The issue of independence of institutions such as the Uganda Human Rights Commission has permeated very many other institutions, because in terms of appointment, commissioners are appointed by the president, and there lies the problem. There have been delays sometimes in appointing commissioners. There have been also concerns regarding the quality of commissioners that are appointed. Sometimes those who have been appointed are supposed to be in retirement, and this particular role is very demanding. Also, questions of partisanship arise, because often those who are appointed tend to lean largely on the NRM side, which means that they have to be sympathetic to the establishment. So the problem lies in the appointment process and the power that has been vested in the president to appoint them. If there was involvement of the citizenry, I think maybe it could provide a solution. Even within the commissioners themselves, sometimes they have been concerns. You had some time back the chairperson complaining that she's sometimes fearful of her colleagues in the commission, and you wonder why, because they are supposed to be colleagues. So this issue of partisanship and the choice that is made sometimes based on political expedience and also political patronage has created a big problem for such an institution, such that its authority, its independence gets watered down.
Well, part of the Commission's mandate is to investigate, compile reports and make recommendations to Parliament, of course, which is the body that does oversight on the Commission. I'm sure you've had time to look at the reports that have been generated by the Commission and submitted to Parliament. Do you think these reports really involve or actually have those real issues that touch the citizens' concerns, or possibly what is in these reports is also not in tandem with people's concerns? Well, Doctor, I'm sorry to interrupt you. We'll quickly go for a quick break and return to you shortly. Looks like I may have a technical glitch, but of course I'm talking to Dr. Livingstone Sewanyana, the founder and executive director for the foundation of the Human Rights Initiative, civil society organization that also oversees the human rights issues in this country. And we've been doing a quick audit on the Uganda Human Rights Commission, the only constitutionally created body that promotes and protects the human rights of vulnerable Ugandans. And that's especially what we're looking at, and specifically also looking at its independence, its performance, and generally whether the concerns of a section of Ugandans that possibly the Commission is sleeping on the job are valid or not. And that is what we are actually probing in this particular interview. Well, of course, he said, according to him and in his opinion, he gives the Commission, at least at the scale of 1 to 10, he gives them 5 or 6 out of 10, which is average, which is really average, an average performance in his opinion. But of course, this comes at an array of concerns that are coming from the public in relation to the cases, various cases of human rights violations which have been reported and actually presented to the petitions presented to the Commission, and the victims still don't believe that they are getting what they expect from the Commission, and that is exactly what we would want to hear from Mr. Dr. Sewanyana talk about, only that time is not on my side. I only have 1 or 2 minutes. If I can connect again with Dr. Livingstone Sewanyana, I will quickly want him to make a quick recommendation on what the Commission or government can do to empower the Commission in order to empower it, of course, to deliver to its mandate and to the expectations of Ugandans. And I must apologize that we have lost connection with Dr. Sewanyana, but well, he had made his point. I think the authorities can do what they can to empower the Commission to do better, but he talks about the constitution, the process to constitute the Human Rights Commission. He says it's a problem. Possibly the appointments should be done not by the President, in his opinion. Possibly that can give the Commission much more independence in execution of their mandate. My name is Prince Apollo. That's it from us here. We will catch up again next Friday in another edition of the Limelight. After here, I will be going into Emisinji with Pastor Aloysius Bijingo, but much more is coming up on Salt TV. That's another reason why you must stay tuned. Good evening, God bless you, and God bless Uganda.